Hey, hey, hey. Hello, everybody. It has been a presentation kind of day for Carter and I. We are so excited to be here on today's Facebook Spark Live. And woohoo, that's right. We are going to talk about reaching your target audience with Facebook ads. But until we get in the middle of it, we're going to go have a little fun and let people come on. Hello, hello, hello. You like that? Every time I see it, I think of Jonathan. He did such a great job on that thing. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
Jonathan, if you're on, thank you, thank you, thank you. We get compliments on that all the time, and that is all you, buddy. So today's topic is fun. We're on Facebook. We're going to talk about Facebook. Yay! It's going to be all kinds of stuff. As people come in, if you would just drop your name in the comments, would love to say hello to you as you come on. And again, give us a thumbs up, a like, a bell, all the bells and whistles as it goes. It's all fun. Thank you so very much, Linda Roydhouse. We can count on you for a thumbs up every week. Thanks so much. So we are going to kind of dive in a little bit with reaching your target audience with Facebook ads and the reason why Facebook ads can be so targeted. But we're going to start with something that's really all about targeting, because it's about data. Guys, one of the things that I've been blown away as I have done research on Facebook, I think they're probably the best data collection machine I have ever seen. I mean, the amount of data that they collect and how they collect it. And I mean, they don't even necessarily collect it from you. They're collecting it from your friends. So, it's nutty how they do it. And I know all of you guys have been in situations where, you've talked about, I don't know. One of mine is I was talking to my wife one day about needing new glasses, and that I was going to go back to this online optical place called Zenni. But I was going to look around to a couple of other places first and just see if that's really where I wanted to get my glasses from. And all of a sudden, every time I'm in Facebook, I'm seeing Zenni Facebook ads. It was like, they have to be listening to me, right? Well, come to find out, they're really not listening to you, but they're actually looking at your search patterns and the habits that you have in search. So I'm not exactly sure how they knew that I was searching for glasses online, because I really wasn't searching in Facebook. But all of a sudden, Facebook ads for the Warby Parker came up because I searched in Warby Parker. So now I'm getting all the doggone optical glasses ads. So has any of you guys ever had that experience that you just talked about something and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, somebody's listening to me. Hey, Mark, Lee, Linda, glad you guys are here. Awesome. Anybody that comes in, just put your name in there. We want to say hi to you. But if you've ever had that experience, or maybe I'm the only one, I don't know.
Oh no, I hear this all the time, and I mean, you just this feeling of being stalked. It's a little bit creepy, but as a marketer, I have to say, quite honestly, if I'm going to have to see advertising, right, and places like Facebook are free for one reason, that's because they're supported by advertising. So if I'm going to have to see advertising, I'd rather see advertising that hits the mark, that's targeted at me, things that I'm interested in. Because if I have to watch a bunch of advertising about products that I could care less about, it makes it a less enjoyable experience. So at least I'm seeing the things that I have some interest in, but yes, absolutely. If your app is on and you're driving down the highway and you pass a store that Facebook knows you have done business with before, suddenly you're going to start seeing ads for that store because it can geo-target you based on where you've been. It's creepy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that has blown me away is all the different ways that they target you. Even if you've been in the app and you are no longer in the app, but your friends are in the app and they talk about you, they log it on you. I mean, they've got data on you. And so, the everybody says it's going to be the year of privacy. And I'm like, I think privacy is out the window. I mean, if you say, I don't want to be stalked, but your spouse says, I don't mind being stalked, then you're getting stalked anyway.
They triangulate.
So, exactly. Yeah.
It's not hard to infer what you're interested in. If you're making a comment on somebody's brand new motorcycle in Facebook, suddenly, I mean, even though they're not tracking you, they know that you're friends with somebody and you just commented on, and they can tell the sentiment of your comment, something like, nice ride, dude. And that's all it takes. And now you're seeing Harley ads.
Yeah, it's great. Hello, Chuck. How are you? Yes, looking for dune buggy parts and Mark Hudson. Yeah, that's a very common thing, right, Mark? You're just looking for dune buggy parts.
Yeah, now.
Everybody does dune buggy parts. Yeah, it's no big deal. Yeah, it is kind of creepy, but when you understand, here's the thing. As a consumer, it creeps me out. As a business owner, it's really exciting.
As a marketer, it's like, okay, we can do some stuff now.
Yes. I mean, as a business owner, you guys ought to be going, oh, this gives me some ideas of how I can do some stuff. Because really what it is you got to know your audience. But once you know your audience, you can target that audience. And you can target them pretty doggone granularly, which is kind of cool. So here's the thing. Depending on what you are advertising, okay? So let's just talk about hiring for a minute. Now, in hiring, you can't discriminate. So you can't target by age group. You can't, there are things that you can't do on any platform because it's regulated. You can't discriminate. But if you are advertising your services, now it's like, all right, start thinking of your area. What magazines do you see in people's home that you serve? What do you see? Are they gun owners? Do they drink alcohol? Do they love beer? If they're women, do they have Gucci bags? I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm not.
What kind of music is playing?
In the background.
The television station is on the TV.
Yeah, these are all things that you can actually target people with. So, if you know that, let's just say you're down in Texas. I'm going to use South Texas because one of the things about South Texas is almost everybody hunts. That's not true everywhere. But in South Texas, there's a great deal of people that hunt. And so, gun owners, hunters, people who look for deer accessories, deer blinds, all that kind of stuff. All of a sudden, you can go into the audience and start selecting the audiences of your area. So, if I'm going to be doing something, I mean, deer hunting is expensive, by the way. I mean, just to let you know, because if you're going to, in South Texas anymore, you almost have to have a lease. I mean, there's just certain parameters around hunting that you almost have to have. It's a pretty much a wealthy man's game. So if you know that, then you can go in and set your audience with all the different things. Somebody's looking for scopes, somebody that's, that kind of stuff. And hopefully that's making sense. Now, again, it's in your area. So if you're in New York City, I doubt there's a whole lot of hunters in New York City. So you got to start thinking about the audience that you serve. And if you're going to go into Facebook ads or you work with a company that does Facebook ads, you guys can talk and figure out what that audience really ought to be. Now, we have a lot of parameters because we understand, if you're doing change outs, we're going to look for areas specifically and target some locations that are, have homes in there with units that are 18 to 20 some odd years old. So there's a lot of things that we actually target as well for you. But if you can get more granular, then we can certainly do that, or you can do it yourself if you want to learn how to do Facebook ads.
I think there's some, there's talk about knowing your audience and knowing who they are, building a persona, if you will, about like who they are. But you ultimately want to find the things that certain kinds of audience have in common that make them highly qualified. And so, like, of all of your customers, pull up your customer list and start thinking about, like, what are the things that my best customers on this list, as a subcategory of my entire list of customers, my best customers over here, what is it that they have in common? And then start targeting that, and you can use Facebook to help surface even more of those kinds of best customers. And you can target even the customers that you don't have many of, but you like more of. There's ways to do that too. So it's worth experimenting with and exploring. We can talk in a little bit about experimenting and effective ways of doing it and ways not to do it, but
yeah, and Kathy Ray, thanks for that like. We really appreciate that you're here today. And let's go. We're going to talk about, here's the reality, guys. All these companies that we're talking about, Apple, Yelp, Google, Facebook, TikTok, all of them are data hogs. All right. Just know that they're all collecting data in different ways, but they have just amassed a huge amount of data. Facebook just happens to be, I think, a little bit better at it, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they've really mastered it. And that's one of the reasons we say why Facebook, but we have a few more of why Facebook we think might just be the place right now. It may not stay that way. It's the way marketing is. Right now, Facebook is a really good place. One of the main reasons it has such a large reach. Just a stat here, 580 million plus people per day are on Facebook. That's worldwide, but that's a lot of people.
I heard the stat the other day that said that I think I was with you when I heard it. The average person on Facebook uses their thumb to scroll up on their phone the equivalent height of the Empire State Building.
Yep.
Is that what you remember hearing?
Yep, that's right. That's exactly right. We listened to a webinar on the way back from CCP. That's where that came from.
That's right.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. So what does that mean? Well, it means customers are spending a lot of time on Facebook. I mean, think about that. How much time do you spend on Facebook? I am not the normal Facebook user, I have to admit. I'm just not. I don't really like Facebook, and I hate to tell you that because I tell everybody you need to be on it, and I am on it, and I do post on it. But I don't post on it near as much personally as we make sure that it gets posted on in business. So why do I not like Facebook? Well, I think I've decided it's because I sit and stare at a screen all day, and to stare at one more screen when I'm off, I think is just too much for me. So that's really why I don't like Facebook. But I will tell you, I monitor it. I monitor Facebook Messenger because we have clients that actually contact us through there. And I'm on it at least once or twice every day, and I don't even like it. So that'll tell you, if you like Facebook, then you're spending a lot of time on Facebook.
And because I want to just talk for a second about like the difference between Facebook and say Google. Um, Google is I guess let's talk about like audience intent or purchaser intent is the marketing term that we use. But um, in on Google, somebody goes looking for you, right? They go looking for something that can solve a problem that they have, and because you match up with what they're searching for, you get shown to them. Facebook, people aren't searching, they're just scrolling, right? I mean, it's very passive. And so it's interruption marketing. And the goal there really is to be engaging enough that they stop to see what it is that you're saying, or the video that you've posted, or what the graphic is that you've got on your screen. So being engaging to interrupt them when they're not thinking about your products or services at all, but to get them to stop and see what you're saying and realize that it somehow connects to a need that they may have thought about 2 days ago or this morning in the shower or whatever. So it's a little bit different kind of a deal, and it requires you to be more engaging. Whereas people who are already searching for you, it's already known that they need what you have, so you can just give them what they need. But on Facebook, you have to be engaging. You got to be a little more entertaining. You got to do a little song and dance in order to get them to pay attention.
Yeah, it's really the example I always use is if I'm taking a trip, and if you take a trip with Carter, this is what will happen. The gas will come on and it will stay on, and he will keep talking, and he'll pass 15 gas stations until you white knuckle so much and say, "Are you ever going to pull over and get gas?" Until he finally goes, "Yeah, okay." But that's a need. You need gas. And if you travel with him, I can guarantee you're going to have to watch the tank, because you will be the one that has to tell him, "You need gas, and do it now, please." But it is true. Now, I'm a little bit different. When I travel and I'm there, I don't necessarily wait until the tank light comes on. If I pull over, if I'm with Jonathan especially, he's on here, he'll laugh about this. He needs to eat about every 15 miles. So, we pull off all the time. And so half the time I want something else to do while he's going in to get something to eat. So I get gas. I'm just there. It's kind of, yeah, I'm there. I'll just go ahead and do that. And that's the really different types of marketing. One is you really need something and you're looking. And the other one is yeah, while I'm here, yeah, that's probably something I need to go ahead and do and look at. So that really is kind of the base of our natures on how that works. And both sides of marketing, that just works that way. The other thing I think is really interesting in retargeting is with the pixel, because the pixel goes on your website. Facebook is also not only tabulating when people come to your website, but everywhere there's a pixel and you go on that website, they tabulate that too. So they know where you're shopping. That's why they knew I was looking at Zenny, and I was looking at Warby Parker and a couple of other places. And so I was getting fed those ads. So if you're like Mark was saying, he's got dune buggy parts. So, he's looking for the dune buggy stuff, and he's on websites looking for that. Well, those websites have pixels. So every time that pixel picks up, they know it's Mark, and they put 2 and 2 together. And so voila, he gets dune buggy ads. So, and Chuck, you're right. It is a big data eating machine.
Oh, I think he was talking about Jonathan.
Oh, well, yeah. Jonathan is also not a data eating machine, but an eating machine. Yes. That's funny, because it really is. Facebook is as well. So that is hysterical. Oh, man. So, along with that, you can segment your audience. I'm just telling you, there's so many things that you can do with Facebook that you just can't do with pretty much any other platform that I've seen. You can do audience segmentation. You can, people who live in one of the biggest problems I know with clients that have state lines that they kind of divide their territory. Facebook is a great way to get on both sides of that line and get it to the exact right people that you want to feed those ads to. There's just some advantages like that. I mean, what about you, Carter? What else are you seeing?
Well, based on interest, if you're providing lots of different services and you're using Facebook or Facebook ads as a way to, drill down on specific services. I mean, let's say, leaky chimneys versus annual sweep and inspection, or tuck pointing, or, whatever it may be, service and installation, that sort of thing. So you run targeted ads based on that interest or based on that service, and then the people that respond to that particular service, you can segment that way. And you know that these people that watched this video or watched a percentage of this video are probably more interested in this subject than they are in other things. And so you can begin to build audiences that are custom or customized around specific services that you have. And you become even more effective at reaching those people who are interested in what you have as time goes on. But it does take time. I mean, building these audiences, especially for small local home services businesses, it's different than like a national brand that could probably gather all of the segmentation data that they would need for their entire audience in probably less than 20 minutes in terms of just the sheer number of people seeing their ads and things with their ad budget. So it takes longer for smaller businesses with smaller ad budgets and smaller audiences to be able to assemble, meaningful data that helps you understand like who your ideal customer is for a specific service. I mean, that's highly specific, but given enough time, you can start to get that data and it can start to serve you really well.
I think another one of the interesting things is Facebook has one of the most premier AI, which is artificial intelligence engines that works within the ads. And just recently read an article that said that most premier Facebook ad marketing companies have been having to do everything manually by just, trial and error, that they're finding that about half the time, Facebook's AI does as good a job, if not better, if you just let it learn. And so that's some of the experimentation that we're doing. It's a little bit more difficult with smaller companies like Carter mentioned, but it's an interesting thing that their AI is becoming so sophisticated that it's learning quicker and quicker and quicker, which to a marketer, that's great news, which means to you guys, it's great news. I mean, that's just kind of one and the other. But you can talk about area and demographics. It works. Your Facebook business page works in conjunction with your Facebook ads. It's kind of supports the other. I will tell you, I'm reading, man, I've just probably over the past month, I have read no less than half a dozen articles saying how bad Facebook organic has gotten as far as reach and that kind of thing. It's just no longer reaching as many people in areas as it used to. They made a lot of algorithm changes. I think they're pushing more and more people into ads. The problem, though, is you almost still have to do a really robust organic presence, because something that they call ad seasoning is really important to Facebook. You can run those ads without it, but the cost goes up exponentially. If you have a really robust organic presence, they look at that. They want you to put those ads there and season those ads. And from there, your ad spend actually goes down. So, it sounds kind of counterintuitive in some ways. But Google has a lot of the same thing. I mean, Google looks at website and looks at how many people that are coming. They say it doesn't have anything to do with AdWords. I don't believe them just based on tests that we've run. But I will tell you there's two things about AdWords that everybody should know. Is one, that we have run some tests, and if you just have a little AdWords campaign going year round, you tend to do better. So people turn them on and off, on and off, on and off, which is always fine. But the long term don't seem to rank as well. And the other thing has been this way for a long time, your quality score. And that's the same deal. Your quality score with Google kind of is the same thing that Facebook looks as with your organic presence. So it's a real interesting kind of thing there. Along with that, though, I've also read a couple of articles that think Facebook may have to change its tune around organic because TikTok is catching up. So there's a lot of things, a lot of buzz on TikTok. It's a younger generation right now, but they think that may give Facebook organic a run for its money.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Facebook is the 800-pound gorilla in social media, so it's, but King of the Hill only lasts so long. So
yeah, I mean, we'll see how that works. But anyway, that's really about how you can target and the reach that Facebook has. Ads have above organic and why. Hopefully that explains that. We've gotten quite a few questions about that recently, so we just wanted to tackle that. Do you guys have any questions or comments about anything?
While the questions are coming in, let me just mention one of the reasons I really like Facebook advertising. And it gives you an opportunity to engage with your customers. So the ad doesn't always have to just be a click to your website. It could be an invitation to fill out a scheduling form right there in Facebook. They don't even have to leave Facebook if they don't want to. You can send them to Facebook Messenger, and they can start a conversation with someone in your office whose job it is to manage messages coming in from Facebook Messenger right from the ad. And so you can see those conversions. You can see, people ask a question, they engage. That engagement sharpens the reach of your advertising because, Facebook is learning from those engagements, and they can tell kind of what's happening and who else might be more engaged with that kind of ad based on who has been responding. Let's find more people like that to show your ad to, and it works. But in terms of engagement, in terms of just purely a place where customers can start conversations with you, they can do it right from Facebook advertising, which I think is a real advantage and something that we've been playing with hiring ads, with just starting appointment conversations and booking conversations and seeing pretty good results from that.
Yeah, I would agree. We must be really good. We didn't have that many questions in the NCSG thing. Not a lot of questions here today. We've explained it so well that you guys are just rocking on with it and say, "Yep, I got it," or we'd confuse the heck out of you and you don't know what to ask. Either way, it's okay. It's all right. We're just glad you're here. One of the things I did want to let you guys know that next week we are going to be talking about the customer service advantage. I would highly recommend not only y'all show up, but anybody that tell them this is one that they need to listen to. We are seeing the people that give excellent customer service are not having problems like some of the ones that are not. And we're going to talk about that and talk about what that means next week.
As far as how it impacts marketing.
Exactly, how it impacts marketing, which impacts your business. And then I am going to turn this over to Carter for a few minutes because he is doing some research. And so what we would like today, I'm going to let him talk about. So,
Yeah, I need your help. So we have absolutely heard from the majority of our clients, and by the majority I mean like 99.99999% of our clients, who tell us, we've got lots of work. What we need are workers. We don't have enough people doing work employed in order to get to all of the work that we could have. And so we're really wanting to focus our cannons on that problem and help our clients be able to streamline the hiring process, because we come from the philosophy that hiring really is, a lot of hiring is just marketing in action, right? Somebody with a need paired up with somebody with a solution. And in hiring, it's very mutual. It's very, there's a need and a solution on both sides of that. And so we want to be able to streamline that. We're looking at ways to automate the hiring process and make that more manageable so that you can always be hiring year-round, running ads and doing things in order to hire, but manage that with a lot less time involvement than it used to be. You're yawning, Taylor. We can hear you.
Sorry.
So,
sorry, guys. I took myself out of video. I felt that yawn coming. I've been up since 4 this morning, so I apologize.
Anyway, if you are interested in letting us or talking to us about your hiring process, what you do already for hiring, I would love to hear it. I just want to ask a bunch of questions and do some research. I really want to solve this problem. And the more of our clients in home services that we're able to talk to, the better we'll get at being able to really, take aim at that and bring a solution that can be useful and helpful. So if you're interested in that, the email on your screen right there, carter@sparkmarketer.com, shoot me an email and just say, hey, I'm interested in talking to you about our hiring practices. I'm curious about what you're doing. So we'll jump on a call and just spend 20, 30 minutes walking through that. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing, but also ask a lot of questions about what you're already doing and see if that helps me. So I would appreciate that if you'd be willing. Thank you. Now you're muted.
My understanding is when I took myself out of the room, it would mute and do everything, and it didn't. So I do apologize for that. I felt it coming, and so I left. I was trying to be polite.
No, I get it. That was funny, though.
Anyway, and none of you guys make comments about my 4 o'clock. I know some of y'all get up at 2 in the morning, I think, and work out and do all this stuff, and then go into work, and you're ready to go at 4. So I'm not quite that spry in the mornings, but I do appreciate all of you. Technology challenged. Yes, I am today, Jerry. It's been that kind of a day. Anyway, guys, hopefully, again, if you have any questions, you can always email Carter, email me. It's real easy. That's mine, Taylor@sparkmarketer.com. We're here to help you. Any questions that come up, you think about it. If you get in, try to do some Facebook ads yourself, get lost, let me know. We'll try to see if we can help you out. I don't know how much we can or not, but we'll try. And hopefully this has been a good learning experience for you. And we will see you next week when, again, we're going to be talking about the customer service advantage. So thanks so much. If you haven't given us a thumbs up, wherever the thumb is, see it, all that is. I can't find my camera either. Then give us a thumbs up. We love you guys, and hope that you have a fantastic rest of your week and a better weekend.
Thanks, everybody.